Audio Jungle.
We're here at the beautiful Lake Somerset with Arthur Allen. How you going, Arthur?
Yeah, good, Drew. Yeah, good.
We're out here today. It's October. The weather's a little bit up and down. The fishing's been a little bit tough for the bass. Arthur's going to take us over his plastic technique that he uses in the tournaments and also that he's been showing us today, specifically with the BarraBass rods. A lot of people don't realise this, that you use strictly one type of rod because it's set up pretty similar to a golf club situation. You like the feel of the same sort of rod, and you want to make sure all your rods are very similar. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It's the same as any sport. You're sort of matching what you're doing. Like, you wouldn't buy golf clubs with a bag of golf clubs with 10 different brands, and it's just not the way to go, because every time you pick a club up, you get a different feel, different weight, different everything. You eliminate that by getting a custom-made rod. At BarraBass, Brad Clark here, he's made me all my rods for me. This is my plastic rod. I fish it at 7 foot. There's an XP841 with matched with a Stella 1000 with Berkeley Fireline crystal, 4 pound with 4 pound leader.
What sort of jig head? What sort of jig head do you got on there?
I've got just a TT jig head here.
I've noticed it's painted. A lot of guys have been using painted jig heads this year.
Yeah. Look, I just dip them myself. I do a lot of painting of them, but yeah, I find if you I've just dipped this in a little bit of powder, and it comes up right, and I've caught plenty of fish on them, and sometimes I think it's a head thing, but look, it definitely helps anyway, I think, you know. Okay,
so let's go through the rod. It's a specific sort of rod that you've had made for yourself, that you use just for plastic fishing. Yeah,
look, it's what I need for this is a finesse rod. Now this here, the XP841, Brad's made specially, 7 foot long, custom made. Now, custom made gets thrown around a little bit too easy these days. This is generally custom made. I've picked everything. I've picked my guides, I've picked my length, I've got the stickers, I've had my name put on it on this side, I've had the grip I like, I've had everything done to it to suit me 100%. That's the way Brad does them for you. If he says he's going to do a custom rod, they are a custom rod.
So let's go through your technique. What sort of water depth, temperature are you looking for when you're focusing on fishing October around here? It is a little bit tough. How do you like to fish the plastics?
Look, down here traditionally this time of year, you know, you should start to pick them up on plastics down here now. I think the key to these plastics are, I know you can pick the fish up through schools and things like that with the plastic, but my favourite style is down here, typically with Somerset, somewhere like Queen Street, the fish will sit at about 22 feet, something like that. And what I'll do then is I'll get my plastic, I'll cast it way out as far as I can. These rods will cast a long way. I'll get 30, 40 metres with a 3/8 jig head without any effort at all. I'll let it sink to the bottom with the bail arm open. I don't close the bail arm, because I think if you close your bail arm, once it's closed, you've locked it and you're losing distance. It starts to, when your lure is coming down, it swings like a pendulum because it's got nowhere to go. You lift your bail arm, you'll throw it out 30 metres and it will stay at 30 metres till you get to the bottom. That's where the fish are. I see them on the sounder there, so I know I'm in the strike zone straight away. First thing, I click over my bail arm, I tighten my line, I give it a little twitch to start with, because the fish have come down to have a bit of a look, and they think, I wonder what that thing is. You give it a little sudden jerk, they might just snap it there and then. So I always start with a little bit of a jerk on it, and then I slow roll it in, depending on how active the fish are and what they're doing. But halfway back, a third of the way back, I'll stop me retrieve, lift the bail arm, I'll let it sink to the bottom again, because if you just keep retrieving, it'll slowly come up. It'll come up like that, and you're all of a sudden, the fish are down here, you're out of the strike zone. You need to keep that bail arm down every now and then, drop it back down in the strike zone. If you fish here long enough and throw a plastic along the bottom, if they're on the bottom, you will definitely pick them up.
So when you say you're casting out and you're seeing the fish in 20 foot, you might be fishing 40 foot, you might be fishing 50 foot. You're focusing on fish that you've found on the sounder.
I'm always looking at the sounder. The sounder's your most vital. If I don't see fish on a sounder, I won't stop. You must see the fish there. Then you're looking at the depth range. It might be 20, 26 feet, 30 feet, whatever. It might be 40 feet. You need then to count that plastic down into that strike zone and just get it along in that strike zone all the time. You'll get them to bite. If they're a little bit shut down on the bottom, I'd move without any hesitation out. I'd go to a Z-Man. I used one of these at Binduma with a bit of success earlier in the year. And I think if you these big profile ones, they seem to just pick up. You go along the bottom. Be aware when you fish a bigger plastic though, you need to lift that bail arm a bit more often because that will tend to flutter up like that out of the strike zone. But these big fish seem to like these big profile things just dragged along the bottom, just a little bit off the bottom. They can't help themselves, I'll snap it up.
You can actually feel that tail working with these rods as well, can't you? So people don't actually understand that. These high modular graphite rods, we've got zero stretch line. You can actually feel a little tail like that 30, 40 metres away, even further, 60 metres away, vibrating on your rod.
I can feel everything that this thing does. If I'm dragging along the bottom, I can distinguish, no worries whether it's a little tap from a fish or whether I've dragged it over a stick or whatever it may be. I can feel what this thing's doing all the time with these rods. That's the advantage of having one of these custom rods. You get the tip, you get everything you like, you get the length from it. If you know, you can go up 7 foot 6, you get whatever length you want. Brad can make them. I like them at 7 foot. It suits me, suits my style, and I still got that sensitive feel. I can feel what this thing's doing anywhere in the water at any time.
Well, we appreciate you giving us some insight on the way you fish plastics throughout the tournaments. We'll catch up to you soon. Thanks, Arthur.
Yeah, thanks, Drew, and happy birthday too, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Check us out at bassaustralia.com.au.